It's a good question, like which desi book did I grow up on? Because there isn't one. I did go to Balavihar as a kid for just a few years, and we studied mostly like Hindu mythology, and so there were some stories that I remember, but it's not like it was part of my like K through 12 education or anything like that. Who has wellness for is has been like a really good go-to text for me. As I've been going through professional changes and even moving cross coastally and everything, the idea of wellness keeps coming up for me. And I think so many people in our generation do not feel well, like chronic illness, mental health issues, emotional health is like really big right now. And I think it's big right now because it's always been there. It just hasn't, especially in South Asian communities, hasn't been talked about and expressed. And so everything's been bottled up. And I think our generation has like inherited all that trauma. And so I think part of my trajectory is obviously writing and creating children's literature, but also young adult literature, but also simultaneously doing the work to heal and to heal my body and heal my mind. And so Fariha Roisin's book, and she's Bangladeshi Australian, now living in, I believe, LA. And yeah, her book, Who Has Wellness For, it also talks about the contradiction that wellness methodologies such as yoga, Ayurveda, Chinese medicine, all these things come from places that were predominantly colonized and today are being accessed mostly by people who are descendants of the colonizers rather than descendants of the colonized. And so, kind of, me practicing yoga ironically feels like a reclaiming of yoga in reality it's just a claiming of yoga, and practicing something that my ancestors had practiced. So this book has been really good and kind of I don't know, being a part of that kind of like paradox and inserting myself in that dialogue simply by reading the book. And it's something that I heavily annotated and something that I just keep going back to because so much of what Fariha shares is very gut wrenching and honest. And yeah, I think the South Asian community has struggles with honesty, even within families. And so that's kind of something that I'm moving through right now. Not into reading either. I've never been as a kid. I've always been pretty like hyperactive, doing a million things at once. So the idea of sitting down and doing one thing is in and of itself a challenge for me. However, I honestly think the best trick is to just find something that interests you. For example, I've been trying to get through a book that I know I'm supposed to read for the past like few months, and it's been like kind of a struggle. But then recently I sat down with another book that I actually just naturally like, and reading it has been way easier. So I think like sampling different books that are different to kind of get an idea of what you're into is one strategy. And I don't know, I don't know if this is for kids, but I think in general, like an ergonomic chair or a place that feels comfortable, and sitting on something that feels comfortable is also going to be really helpful because I was like always trying to figure out why I was like not very comfortable reading. And then I was like, oh, let me try an ergonomic chair. And it just keeps my back a lot more comfortable. And I'm able to like read more at once, which is nice. And I also read a lot in the bath. I take baths. So that's like a nice place to kind of de stress and kind of take in some literature.